Welcome back to Hong Kong Review 2013. Let's take a look back at an issue that has polarized Hong Kong for many years: political reforms.
And Hong Kong's role in international news events as well. Also, some unforgettable characters who left their mark in 2013.
I made mistakes in the administrative areas concerning entertainment, duty visits, gifts. But I am a man of integrity.
Ex-ICAC Commissioner Timothy Tong was grilled by lawmakers in the Exco Public Accounts Committee. In his 5-year tenure, he'd spent $724,000 on gifts, including over $2,000 on scarves and $800 on beef brisket and fish balls.
鑑於呢個機構有送過啲荔枝果品之類嘅土產啦，俾廉署魚蛋牛腩嗰個，我相信按照同樣嘅精神。
咁啊，絲巾咧由400蚊至到2090蚊之間嘅價值咧，呢個應該相信唔係一般我哋理解嘅象徵式嘅禮物係嘛？
我同意呢個禮物嘅選擇係睇嚟係唔恰當。
Tong also applied for official entertainment over 200 times. 37% exceeded spending limits. Plus, he bought $170,000 worth of alcohol, including 100 bottles of Maltai. He also bought plane tickets for trips overseas 4 times without first gaining the chief executive's approval. Tong says he had nothing to do with it.
特首未批准。你就訂個機票，但係你唔可以唔知嘛？嗰個廉政公署係你係阿一哥嚟㗎嘛？即係完全冇規冇矩㗎咯喎！你諗清楚啲先答好冇？
我有冇最終嘅行政責任呢？嗰個係有嘅，作為廉政專員。但係邊一次、邊個時間係出機票呢啲呢？我日常做嘅事情都好多嘅。
Ending the PAC hearings, Tong insisted he wasn't greedy.
冇隱瞞，冇説謊，冇私人動機，冇私相授受，更加係與貪字無關。
In conclusion, the PAC found Tong's actions alarming and unacceptable.
The committee deplores the inadequacies and non-compliances of the ICAC during the tenure of Mr. Timothy Tong.
Actually, the Civil Service Bureau should consider to cut his retirement pension.
We will continue to investigate how the system could be improved.
2013 saw a retinue of unforgettable characters in memorable incidents. Ex-Chief Secretary for Administration Henry Tang was appointed to the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. His wife, Lisa Kuo, was convicted for illegal structures and fined $110,000. Ex-Development Secretary Mak Chai-kwong and ex-Assistant Director of Highways Cheuk-man were both given suspended 8-month prison sentences for defrauding the government of housing allowances. They had rented each other's flats more than 20 years ago. In the corruption trial of ex-Chief Secretary for Administration Raphael Hui and the joint chairman of Sun Hung Kai Properties, Thomas and Raymond Kwok, Hui alone faces all 8 misconduct and bribery charges, including using rent-free flats and taking unsecured loans. In November, the High Court declared Hui bankrupt. In July, businessman Peter Chan was jailed for 12 years for forging the will of the late tycoon Nina Wang. In August, former head of cardiology at Prince of Wales Hospital, Dr. Cheuk-man, was suspended from performing heart surgery. Investigation is ongoing.
Towards year's end, the government unveiled a consultation document for political reform on arrangements for the 2016 LegCo and 2017 chief executive elections.
2013 saw a number of organizations form to spearhead discussions on Hong Kong's political future. Most of them took a stance on the controversial Occupy Central movement.
Worries abound as to whether the city's financial pulse, the Central District, will indeed be taken over by pro-democracy protesters come next July.
On July 1st, 430,000 people with myriad demands braved inclement weather to march on the streets. The police counted 66,000. Views abound on who should qualify to run for chief executive in 2017. The description "Love China, Love Hong Kong" was mooted repeatedly.
愛國愛港嘅定義係點嘅呢？
就是不能接受與中央對抗的人，當這個行政長官。
愛國唔愛港，成日同中央對抗，呢班人一定要篩咗出去。喺嗰個提名嘅過程度係完全令到中央可以控制嘅。咁即係控制咗個提名，就即係控制埋個結果㗎啦。
黃光亞佢講，香港應該保持永遠都係由愛國愛港嘅人執政。
Should the CE poll be filtered? Beijing Liaison Office Director Zhang Xiaoming lunching with lawmakers mooted a sieve.
如果没有这个烧鸡的话，你怎么可以从一大堆的那个稻谷里面很容易的挑选出这个优良品种啊？或者把那些败仔给过滤下去，做不到的。
In early May, pan-democrats and academics formed the Alliance for True Democracy and advocated public nomination. Anyone who can get nominated by 2% of eligible voters, or some 70 to 80,000 people, can become a candidate.
这种主张看似比较开放公允，但呢，它实际上呢是在基本法和全國人大常委會有關決定以外另搞一套。
選舉制度一定要公平公開，市民接受。
Hao Tie-chuan, publicity director of the Beijing Liaison Office, wrote in a newspaper that a nominating committee accepting publicly nominated candidates for CE flouts the basic law.
The popular nomination is one of the methods which can truly meet the international standard of universal suffrage by avoiding any unreasonable barrier for people coming from different political views to join the elections.
Concurrently, British Foreign Office Minister Hugo Swire wrote in a local newspaper that Britain stands ready to support Hong Kong on its journey to universal suffrage.
任何嘅外國官員就呢個問題想參與或者係干預呢，香港嘅政改作用呢係適得其反嘅。
Basic Law Committee Chairman Li Fei visited Hong Kong in November and clarified the central government's stance on electing a chief executive.
行政长官必须由中央人民政府任命。45条第2款就是提名委员会来提名，就是基本法这个限制性法律把这个提名权只授予了提名委员会。
In December, the government launched a 5-month public consultation on constitutional reform. The consultation document stressed after a CE is elected, the central government has ultimate power of appointment. Election by universal suffrage has to deal with 7 problems, including forming a nominating committee and how it'll nominate candidates. There are criteria for proposals.
First, the proposal should be in conformity with the Basic Law and the MPCSC. Second, the proposal should stand a reasonable chance of securing passage by the Legislative Council, gaining majority support of the Hong Kong community. And third, the proposal should be practical.
During Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying's duty visit to Beijing in December, President Xi Jinping called for a pragmatic approach towards Hong Kong's constitutional reform and urged Hong Kong to reach a consensus on a foundation for the 2017 CE election. Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office Director Wang Guangya added future duty visits should be more structured to include not just reports on achievements, but also on inadequacies, as well as set targets for the next year. He also ruled out public nomination for CE candidates.
I think that what the basic law says is clear. So whatever formula which is in conformity with the basic law is clear. I think now it is in the process of public opinion seeking. So I think it is mainly up to the Hong Kong government to seek the opinion from all sides. And of course, the central government is talking as widely as possible to people who have an interest in this.
The Occupy Central movement was launched in March. Organisers said if the government failed to propose a genuine plan for universal suffrage, they would exercise civil disobedience and occupy Central. In early June, the first deliberation day was held, attracting over 600 people. Leung chun-ying insisted the campaign, if it happens, cannot be legal or peaceful.
I would like him to point out what kind of things we have done is illegal. What kind of things we have done is not peaceful.
In October, Lee Cheuk-man, Chu Yu-ming and Joseph Cheng went to Taiwan and met with Xi Ming-tae, a former chairman of the Democratic Progressive Party.
The whole Occupy Central movement, we need support from the Taiwan people because they will see the experience of Hong Kong as something they want to look at and see how it affects Taiwan themselves.
三人借助台獨分子推動佔中，令人擔心香港政治會走向暴力對抗，更令人質疑佢哋是否準備與台獨勢力互為策應。
問題我哋完全係冇咁樣嘅意圖，去到同台獨嘅力量咧一齊去搞任何嘅所謂佔中或者爭取民主嘅工作，呢啲完全係顛倒是非嘅講法。
The business sector staged a march against Occupy Central.
對於有關人士拜訪台獨勢力，實在令人憂慮。工商界一直唔贊同以佔中嘅違法行為表達訴求，咁樣會破壞本港嘅營商環境。
Then some academics and professionals formed Silent Majority for Hong Kong and hoped to rally 100,000 people against Occupy Central.
The wife beaters always tell their wives how much they love her, and then at home they beat them. So the question really is, do you believe what people say or do you believe what people do?
Coming up after the break, Hong Kong makes international news.
Sufficiently menacing or